These are all our old parts. These are actually bad. I got too much play in. GM wanted $2,000 to do brakes, rotors, and wheel hubs. I did it for less than $200. I've been doing this for 30 years. And today, YouTube, I'm gonna show you everything you need to know to do it quick, do it fast, to do it easy, and so your brakes last. We don't need no shop. We don't need nobody but God. And to make sure you watch this video all the way through, let's get it. Brakes ain't really got no meat on them, man. They got a little bit of meat, but they ain't nowhere near what they supposed to be. This actual wheel hub. Listen at this. These are actually bad.
You see how all this, it didn't hit all this,
right.
But you see how all this side is smooth?
Right,
so that means that the water was severely warped.
It was warped?
Yeah, it's really warped. We have to do it again.
All right.
This time we got tape.
It go to 2017 SS Camaro. This is the vehicle that we're gonna be doing the rear wheel hubs, the rotors, and the brakes, y'all. This vehicle is actually set up the same as a 5th generation Camaro or the 6th generation Camaro. So you can use this video as a guide to replace the wheel hubs, brakes, and the rotors. It don't matter. SS, LT model, it don't matter. 5th gen or 6th gen. By the time you watch this entire video, it's gonna be easy because I'm gonna show you the easiest way to remove certain bolts and everything, y'all. But the only thing that you need to do, you need to make sure that you watch this entire video and you don't skip through it, because otherwise you're gonna miss something. Some of the symptoms that you might experience squealing in your brake system, vibration in the drivetrain, unexplained clicks, and then also this Camaro, it sounded like a airplane getting ready to take off, man. It had that roar to it. Roar. Faster you go, the louder it'll get. But we're gonna take care of all that today. If you're new to the channel, man, do me a favor. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also, if you're watching this video and you got a Camaro, put in the comment section what year Camaro you got. 5th gen, 6th gen, or the year, make, and model. I appreciate that. These are the tools you need. Just a pair of pliers. The pins that release the brake calipers, I use these a little bit. You got brake cleaner. Clean off your brake parts. Some brake lubricant. This is to put around the wheel hubs when you're installing them, and also to lubricate the moving mechanisms of your brake system. We got some blue thread locker here. We use this to put the caliper mounting bracket bolts back on. Also, we use this to put on the bolts that hold your wheel hubs in. We got a punch right here that we use to take out the pins that hold your brakes into your caliper, and also a little small Phillips screwdriver. You don't really need a punch. Anything that has a little small end that you can use to tap that little rod out will work. I got a torque wrench here because I use this to break my wheel lug nuts loose. A regular size ratchet, regular size extension, and what I have here that I found easier to help me get the wheel hub mounting bolts out is a swivel extension right here. If you put a 15mm socket, or if you put a socket on it, you can see that it actually swivels just a little bit, y'all. It'll move just a little bit, and that'll give you a little movement, and it makes it easier to get the wheel hub assembly mounting bolts off. I'll show y'all that a little later on. And I got a pipe here because I just use this pipe to slide on my ratchet to give me a little extra oomph when I'm releasing those bolts. But if you got like a breaker bar that has one of them little sliding things on it, it'll work just as fine. But I compensated. I used what I had. I got a Torx T30, and I use this to take the little screw off that holds the caliper onto the wheel hub. I got a 36 millimeter socket. They actually have a whole set of these big sockets that you can rent from the auto parts store, but I just happen to own a whole set. So I got this 36 millimeter to take off the drive axle nut in the center of the hub. And then I got a 22 millimeter that I use to take my lug nuts off. And of course, you know, you're gonna need a jack and jack stands and all of that stuff for safety, y'all. First thing first, we're gonna get this car jacked up. All right, now if you own one of these, whether if it's a 6th gen or a 5th generation F-body Camaro, you got specific jacking locations. And I just wanna show y'all where those jacking locations at. Because if you jack the vehicle up from the wrong location, you're gonna turn a $200 job into a $2,000 job, y'all. So you got one in the rear, which is right here. You probably see it. Yep, there it is right there, that little gap. Let me see if I can point to it. Yeah, this is it right here. See how that's gapped out? The trim is gapped out right there. That's a jacking location in the back. And then you also got one in the front. And here it is right here. Yep, there it is right there. Boom. This is the jacking location. You see how the fender skin is cut out right there? That's the jacking location, y'all. And these cars are so frigid. What you want to do is, if you got to jack the back up, you want to jack it up from the front so you can stick a jack stand right here. So let's do that together, y'all. Let's get it. First thing you want to do is make sure you chock the car. If you're jacking the front up, you put chocks in the back. If you're jacking the back up, you put chocks in the front. And so we're going to be jacking the back up like this. So I need them bricks in the front of my car to keep the car from rolling. What I got here is the factory lug nut should be a size 22 millimeter. And I got my lock and key, man. Let me just tell y'all what happened to me, man. I was supposed to do this the other day, man, but I could not find my lock and key, y'all. Out of 35 years of working on cars, that was the first time that I ever lost a lock and key, y'all. You know what? I was blown away by that, man. It was actually on my anniversary. I started to get upset, started to get mad, but you know, I didn't. I quickly realized that, you know what? That was an act of God right there, y'all. God wanted me to enjoy my anniversary with my wife that I've been happily married to for 17 years. So God allowed for that to happen, y'all. And as you can see, if you look back on the live videos on the YouTube page, you can see, man, we had a great time celebrating our 17-year anniversary right here at the house. And if I had been out there working on the car, then none of that would have even happened. So I thank God that he allowed for me to lose that lock and key, y'all. You know what God say, man? All things work together for good for those of us that love God, y'all. You know what I'm saying? And I really seen that happen. Y'all do me a favor, man. Drop a 100 in the comment section, man, down below. If you would agree with him and not me, that all things work together for God's good, for those of us that love God. Drop a 100 in the comment section, y'all. All right, I got this side cracked, and I'm gonna crack the other side, and I'll be right back with y'all in a minute. So now that I got just the lug nuts broke or loose, I don't have them taken all the way off, and I got the front of the car chopped. I'm gonna go ahead and jack up the front. That way I can place a jack stand in the back. See, I'm right underneath that little jacking location, y'all. If you ain't never operated one of these hydraulic jacks right here, you know, whenever you tighten it up, you don't gotta tighten it that tight, or else it's gonna be hard to loosen it. So that's what I'm gonna do now with 2 hands. I always wanna make sure you have 2 hands. Turn it just a little bit. Let it down real slow. I even stop it midway sometimes just to peek at it and make sure it's still steady on the jack stand, y'all. I see a lot of people just, boom, sit it down like that. No, don't do that. My daddy taught me to do it slow. I'm gonna get the other side jacked up, and I'll be back with y'all in a minute. The back tire's off the ground. These right here, I kicked them. Make sure they all the way against the tire in the front. Show y'all the passenger side. We go to a brick. Make sure it's all the way in the front. And then this back tire is off the ground too. Now I'm gonna go ahead and remove these tires. And you know what? I was blessed enough to have one of these. So I'm gonna use what God gave me. And thank him for it, y'all. There you go. Tone it, tone it, tone! One thing that you definitely want to do before you take the brakes and the caliper off, you want to crack this nut right here, and you want to take this star bolt off right here. This is a T30, and this is a 36 millimeter. Yeah, it's a 36 millimeter. I already took the other side off, so I can't get nobody to hold the brakes. Like I always say, there's more than one way to do what, y'all? Skin a cat. So, y'all check it out. I'll go like this. And the only reason I'm doing it like this, I am replacing the wheel hubs, y'all. I ain't got to worry about these right here. See that? The thing caught right there on the caliper. Mm-hmm. And then also, your T30, go ahead and take that little piece off too. Look at him, y'all. He gone, ain't he? All right, now I can go ahead and take off the brakes and everything. In order to do that, I got to get something to knock that little pin out. I'll show you what I'm talking about in just a second. First step into taking these brakes off, you got two little pins. These are the Brembo calipers, and they got little pins in here. Thing you gotta do is you gotta take a little screwdriver or a little punch and just tap these little pins out. And what I got in my case is a little small Phillips screwdriver. There you go. As I hit it, you can see it go out. Then here go the second one. Should just come right out. And then this little spring right here will just come out just like this. Now y'all see that spring just come out. Get these brakes out. The only thing you should have to do is just pull them out. Before I pull them out, I'm gonna press these calipers in. That's what I'm gonna do. That way I ain't gotta use no C-clamp. And then what you wanna do is you wanna stick the screwdriver in between the caliper and the old brake and just ply both of them at the same time, y'all. Just like that. To make it easier is if you take the brake cap off to the brake fluid, you take the cap off, it makes this just a little bit easier. We got one loose already, just got to get this other one going. You see how I push? You see how them brakes went out? Now I want to take this out. And just lay that down. Same orientation that they go in. Slide that one out. Y'all see how easy that is, man? And lay that one down. You see they pretty thin, ain't they? Lay that one down right there. This is the passenger side. I got this thing right here on the outside. The little brake sensor. I got the free one on the inside. And this right here don't matter. Yeah. Flat down like that. Now, what I'm gonna do, take these caliper bracket mounting bolts off right here. You got two of them. One at the bottom, right there. And then you got one at the top right here. That's the one at the top. They 15 millimeter. And be careful not to bend this brace right here, y'all. So let me get those two bolts off and I'll be right back with y'all. 15 millimeter. All right, y'all, let me drop a gem on y'all when y'all taking this caliper off. What you want to do is, whichever one you take off the first, the bottom bolt or the top bolt, don't take it all the way out. Just loosen it up till it's almost get ready to come out. And then you crack the other one open. That way the caliper don't be flipping up and down while you're trying to take the last bolt out, y'all. All right, y'all, I got the caliper off. Once you take them two bolts off, it just slides off. And I just tied it around this little thing right here, man, with a little clothes hanger. That way it don't slip down and then fall down and you don't risk damaging your hose right here. Or you don't risk damaging any of these other brake components, y'all. Just safer to tie it off. They actually make a little tool that they sell at the auto parts store. But ain't no sense in paying money for that tool, man. Not if this works just as fine. This sucker should just slide right off. Bingo! Y'all see that? I got too much play in. So now, we got the rotor off, we got the brakes off, we got everything off. Only other thing we gotta take out is this right here, y'all. You gotta take these three bolts out right here. Got one at the top right there. You got another one right there. And you get them out from the back, y'all. And then you got one down here in the back. It's actually right here. Let me show y'all. You can see it from the side right here a little bit. It's right there. Right there. But you gotta take them out from the back. And they size 15 millimeter too. And I just got an extension and a 15 millimeter socket right here, y'all. See it right there? And I'm gonna get a breaker bar or something big. So let me get that off and let me get them 3 bolts out and I'll be right back with y'all. So I just want to show y'all, man, the easiest way to get this top bolt off is from the inside right here. Let me show you what setup I got. I got a converter and I got an extension and I got a 15 millimeter on here. But what you want to do is come in from right here. Boom. Like that right there. And get in there. You want to hold one end with one arm and then take the other arm and press down on that right there. I can't do it with the camera in my hand, but that's the easiest way to get this top bolt out right here. And you're going to have to put a little muscle on it, but make sure you have a good 15 millimeter socket so you don't round that bolt off, y'all, the bolt head. So let me get that top bolt off and I'll be right back. All right, got the top one out. Boom. Y'all see that top one gone right there. Yeah. So now I'm finna get these bottom 2 out. And then she'll be, that hub will be ready to come out then. There you go. Sometimes you gotta put a little muscle on it, YouTube. Put a little muscle on that thing. There you go. Got easy now. Now can you turn with my fingers now? I just unscrew it. I leave the bolts in the hole. I just make sure it's screwed out of the threads all the way. All right, let me get the bottom. Then this thing should be ready to slide out. Sometimes you might have to use a little pipe. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing to it but to do it if you have to. So I just want to show y'all, man, the easiest way to get this top bolt off is from the inside right here. Let me show you what setup I got. I got a converter and I got an extension and I got a 15 millimeter on here. But what you want to do is come in from right here. Boom. Like that right there. And get in there. You want to hold one end with one arm and then take the other arm and press down on that right there. I can't do it with the camera in my hand, but that's the easiest way to get this top bolt out right here. And you're going to have to put a little muscle on it, but make sure you have a good 15 millimeter socket so you don't round that bolt off, y'all, the bolt head. So let me get that top bolt off and I'll be right back. That's the best way to get the this one right here, this bolt right here. That's the best way to get that out. Sometimes you might have to use a little pipe. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing to it but to do it if you have to. get my extension. Put my longer one on it, y'all. Get out of here. That ain't gonna work. Let me figure it out. Yeah, I'll be back in a minute. I got all 3 bolts out. Now what I could do, should just be able to slide this sucker on out. There it is. There it is right there, y'all. Know what I'm saying? You push that bolt back up in there. That way it can hang on there. See that? You go to new wheel hubs right here. And here go the brakes. I always like to match up the old one and the new one. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah, they look pretty identical, y'all. Slightly different, but they the same size and everything. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna work perfect. Let's get it installed. This is what you want to do. Before you install your new wheel hub, you want to get you some of this. It don't got to be this brand, but brake parts lubricant, y'all. I'm just gonna take a little bit of this, put this on the edge right here. Just sop that up pretty good. You never want to put these in dry, y'all. You put it in dry, you're gonna be in trouble. That thing mess around and seize up on you. So, got that in there. What you're gonna do is just reinstall this, man. You see where it line up? There go the bottom bolts, and then you got one at the top up there. So, I'm just gonna put that on there like that. You know, kind of finagle it in a little bit. Line up the screw holes. Kind of push it in. Yep. And it should push right in. Put the ratchet at the top. See if we can get that top hole started. Boom. There you go. Already started. Yep. Never want to screw it all the way in. You know what? Let's put some Loctite on these guys, man. Blue Loctite. Take that top one back out. Let's just put some Loctite on these bolts. There you go right here. Just a little bit. You don't need much. That way it's less of a chance of it coming off, y'all. Put some Loctite on it. Stick it back in. All right, y'all. I got these wheel hubs installed. Man, they sound pretty smooth too. Hold that right there, son. Let me show y'all some. You hear how smooth? You don't hear that. It's smooth. Listen at this one. I know y'all hear that. This is the driver's side right here, y'all. And the only thing I gotta do is put it all back together. But let me drop a gem on y'all, man. This is one thing that nobody talks about, but I'm gonna be straight up with y'all, man. Y'all see, y'all looking at a factory set of rotors, y'all. Just because you got a new rotor don't mean it's better than the factory set of rotors, man. What we gonna do is we gonna take these to O'Reilly's and we gonna get them to turn these rotors, man, so they nice and smooth. What people don't tell you is that if you got a factory set of rotors, I mean, you can at least turn them one good time. Because I'm gonna be straight up with you, man. This metal is way higher quality metal than the aftermarket replacement rotors that you buy at the store. Not unless you want to spend, you know, $200 or $250 on a rotor. The factory rotors, they cost like $273 a piece, y'all. So keep that in mind, man. If you got a factory set of rotors, yeah, go ahead and turn them, man, one good time. I guarantee you, man, they're going to outlast a brand new set of rotors that you get from AutoZone, y'all. All right? So let's get these rotors turned, and we'll be back in a minute. All right, man, we at the auto parts store, y'all. We got the rear rotors right here. So just to show y'all what I was talking about, these are the specs for 2017 rear rotors. And as y'all can see, the discard thickness is 24 millimeters. So whenever they get 24 millimeters, you gotta throw them away. Let's see what they are, Mr. Willie. And he's got some kind of little micrometer or whatever that is you measure the rotors with. Boom. Now y'all see that's looks like 24.95 millimeters, almost 25 millimeters. So they're not quite at the discard or throw away point yet, because it's 24 millimeters. So we're gonna turn these bad boy. Mr. Willie gonna hook them up for me, ain't you, Mr. Willie?
Yes, sir.
Hey, y'all heard him, man. Who gonna pay $273 for a rotor, man? For a new rotor. You know what I'm saying? So this is what we doing right here. All right, so that's the final product right there?
No, sir.
Okay.
So this is when it's skipped like this right here. You see how all this? It didn't hit all this.
Right.
But you see how all this side is smooth?
Right,
So
right.
that means that the water was severely warped.
It was warped.
Yeah, it's really warped. And
Okay.
so what we do is we have to do it again.
All right.
This time we gotta take. See, I'm only taking 200 of 1,000 inch off every time I cut the rotor.
So it's gonna probably still be 24.5 millimeters when you're done with it.
Yeah, because I'm only taking like 1,000 of an inch off.
To the Chevy's R Us family, Mr. Scott.
All right. Oh, Chevy's.
Yeah, Chevy's R Us.
Oh,
No.
no.
Man. Look, we got us one Chevy's R Us family. He a Ford guy.
Darn tootin'.
What it said, Mr. Scott?
Darn tootin'. That's all I drive.
Y'all heard him, man. We still got mad love for you, though, Mr. Scott.
Oh, yeah, I know.
As y'all can see, we already got the wheel hub installed. We used Loctite to put on the bolts that attach this wheel hub assembly in the back. And so now that we got that installed, we want to install our rotors. As y'all can see, these are freshly smoothed and turned. As y'all can see, just gonna slide these guys on. Actually, you got a little mounting hole right here. You want to make sure that mounting hole lines up with one of these guys right here. Boom. Nope, that ain't it. Let me go over here. Yep. You can see that little mounting hole lines up right there. Now I can put this screw in it. This is my Torx 30. And I'm not gonna be able to torque this down yet. Not until I get the brakes on, get both sides on and get the brakes installed. Then I have my wife get inside the vehicle and press the brakes, and then I'll put the torque on this 36 millimeter nut and put a little torque on this screw here. But take that back. Let me put a little bit of anti-seize on this guy right here. That way it don't get frozen in there. Got a little Permatex anti-seize. I didn't include this on the materials needed, but yeah, just dab a little bit on there. You don't need a lot, just a little bit, and it keeps it from getting seized in there. And then you got a whole new problem if that mess around and get stuck in there, y'all. Due to heat, vibration, rust, anything, man, weather, it can get seized in there. So that anti-seize is gonna stop it. I'm actually gonna put a little Loctite on this bolt here. That way this thing, we make sure this don't come out. A lot of people, they recommend you not to reuse these. But you know what, man? I've been doing this for almost 30 years, man. And I ain't never had a problem with reusing these bolts, man. So keep that in mind. Put this on here. Put a little bit, squeeze a little bit in there. Like I say, I'm not gonna torque that down yet. I'm gonna wait until I get all my brakes on both sides. Then I torque that guy down. My next step is I'm gonna go ahead and remount my calipers. And then I'm going to get the brakes installed. But before I do that, I'm just gonna look at these calipers and make sure that the little cylinders is always pressed in. Because I might have to put the old brakes back in there to press it in some more. But I think they're good. Taking my little hanger off. These are my caliper mounting bolts. I just stuck them back in the little holes. That way I don't lose them. Make sure you put some Loctite on these guys. Just a little bit on the edge. I use about half of the thread. Put a little Loctite on there. It'll spread once it get in the hole. I'm just gonna line this stuff back up here. And put the screws in the back. Once you get one started, like the top or the bottom, then go ahead and get the other one started. These are a 15 millimeter. So you get your 15 millimeter and your socket and your ratchet. You go ahead and get these bad boys tight. Be careful not to damage your brake line. You don't want to push too far and kind of damage that brake line. So be mindful of that. I got the top one tight. I didn't torque it yet, but I got it tight. I'll come back and top the torque. I'll come back and torque the top one after I got the bottom one all the way screwed in. When you're tightening up the bottom, it's a bracket right here. Be careful not to bend that bracket, to push down too much on the ratchet and bend that bracket, y'all. Then you got a whole nother problem. This is where that pipe come into play at. Be careful not to over torque it. You can even ring the bolt if you tighten it too tight, y'all. All right, got the calipers tight. Now I'm gonna see if the new brakes fit in here. If the new brakes don't fit, I'll slip the old brakes back in and press the cylinders out with 2 screwdrivers. And just a little quick rule of thumb, y'all. I got the old brakes laid out exactly how I took them off. This is the inner side for the passenger, for the driver. This is the outer side for the passenger. And this is, I got the same on the opposite side right there, y'all. So what I always do and what I've always have done is just match them up. These are the new brakes. So I take them out the package and just match them up. That way I make sure I don't, do the right thing. And it looks like that's my sensor on the outside. Wham. So, yep. So, yep, that matches up. Now let me find out. This one don't have a sensor on it. So this one matches up. So what I'll do is I'm gonna clean this up and I'm gonna clean these pins up and then I'll get these installed over here. I'll be back in a minute. Got a little bit of brake lubricant. Put a little bit of this on my pins. Just a little bit. You don't need much. Just a little bit, y'all. A little bit of brake lubricant on the back of the brake. Just a little bit. Take your finger and smear it around like that. That'll keep them from squealing, y'all. Vibrating and all that there. Now these should just slide right in. I'm gonna put the inside in first. And they go. This is the orientation that they go. Be careful not to get no brake lube on the pad. That just slides in like that. And then this one slides in over here. Yeah. And then that metal clip, where that clip at? Here it go right here. This goes like this. and it'll hold the pads in. These little things right here, it go like this, just like this orientation, y'all. Wham. And it just presses here. And these little pins, they slide in from the back side. All right, now you can actually see. I'm gonna try not to put my hands in the way, y'all. Let me put a set of gloves on. All right, you see how that slides in like that? Pull that back a little bit. Goes just like that. And that little rod goes through there. Goes through the other brake and right into that hole. I think I'm gonna go in with the top first. Top is a little easier to get in than the bottom. The bottom is a little easier to get in than the top. So I'm gonna start with the top first. Take your little hammer. Make sure it's lined up. Just tap. And you can see right here how it came out the front right there. See that one? Let me see. You can see right there how it came out that hole right there in the front. So just want to kind of do the same with the bottom one. Now, with the bottom one, you're going to have to kind of press in with this and hit it at the same time. So, but ain't no big deal. Just press in with your thumb, push it in, get it started, and then put your hammer on it and tap it. And now the brakes are installed. They go to top pin and they go to bottom pin, y'all. And so now, what I'm gonna do, this is the driver's side that we just put on. And so now I'm gonna go ahead, and I ain't gonna bore you with the passenger side. I'm gonna go ahead and get that done. And then after I get the caliper and the brake installed on that side, we'll tighten up the T30 and the center nut. So I'll see y'all in a minute. All right, I got my wife in there inside the car. And she's gonna hold the brakes when I tell her to. All right, baby, go ahead and pump it up. And let me know when you're holding it. I hold it real tight, honey. All right, y'all. Looks like we got everything installed. Brakes, calipers, rotors, wheel assemblies, wheel hub assemblies. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna do a triple check, visual inspection, and then I'm gonna get the tires put back on, y'all. Then we're gonna go for a test drive. See y'all in a minute. All right, YouTube. So now that we got the tires back on, we got it off the jack stands, let's go for a test drive, man. And at the same time, we're gonna do the Duralast break-in procedure to the brakes. Yeah, I didn't know it was a break-in procedure you had to do to the brakes either. But we're gonna follow it so that we don't have premature wear on our brakes and they continue to stop as smoothly as they absolutely can, as long as they can. All right, so let's go. I just want to give y'all a quick recap, let y'all know how the car drives. Man, the car drives excellent. I don't hear any more squeaking. I don't feel no more vibration. I don't hear any more unexplained noises. And also, the car don't sound like a airplane getting ready to take off anymore come from those bad wheel bearings. So, I mean, it's excellent. But look, just real quick, number one, make sure you use the proper jacking locations for your vehicle. You don't want to damage your car and tear your car up. We talked about that in the video. Number two, whenever you jack your car up and you get your car on jack stands and you get the wheels off, before you do anything else, get you a second person to sit in the car, hold the brakes. That way you can take that 36 millimeter nut off, and you can also get that Torx 30 off that holds the caliper onto the wheel hub. Number three, make sure you use some brake parts lubricant on your brake pins, on the back of the brakes, and also on the wheel hub assemblies before you install them. That'll prevent them from getting seized, and by lubing the brake parts up, that'll prevent premature brake wear, so that way you ain't changing out the brakes sooner than you have to. Number four, use blue Loctite, y'all. Make sure you use it on the caliper bolts, on the wheel hub assembly bolts, and also you can use a little blue Loctite on the 36 millimeter nut. It'll prevent your bolts from backing out and coming loose. It'll save you a lot of trouble in the long run, y'all. If you like learning this kind of stuff, y'all do me a favor and hit that subscribe button before you get out of here. And turn on your notification bell. That way you see all the new videos when we post them. And just to let you know, we talk about things like this, man, every single Wednesday on Go Live Wednesday, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we also have a live car show and tell. So if you've been working hard on a project and you want to show it off, hey, we'll be more than happy to have you for Go Live Wednesdays with Chevy's R Us family, y'all. YouTube.